Today we are continuing on with our Sims 4 save file. If you haven't seen any other episodes in this series, I'm renovating the entire Sims 4 game one world at a time. The point of this save file is to make the game feel fun again and that you can enjoy it in a brand new way. I'm removing all of the townies, all of the houses, and totally changing everything up. But the key thing about my save file is it's a collaborative thing between you and me. So all of the builds here are basically like 80% done. I want you to go in and finish them off yourself. I'm also intentionally not adding any kind of relationships, jobs, storylines to all of the households that I'm making because I want this save file to be one where you go into the pre-made households and you play through them as you go along. That way you can kind of do it rotationally. This will also be console friendly because I'm putting all of the households and the lots on the gallery, and I will show you how to download it later, but I'm not uploading the save file itself online until we've renovated every single world because it would just be easier that way. I've also added a guide to tell you guys what every single build is about and what to do. Let's start in the bottom neighborhood. Let's go to 7 Eucalyptus Lane. In the description it says this is a very hard build to complete. It's a huge family home, basic shell and interior floor plan have been completed. So this is the house from the outside. I've basically done the entire shell for you. I've colored it. I've done all sorts of stuff. You've still obviously got to complete the back garden and decorate it properly, but the main shell has basically been completed just like this. And then looking on the inside, you can see this house is huge with all of the different rooms that I've added. What I often do in these builds, in order to give you guys a guide on where to put different rooms, I put a singular object in each room. So this is a library, and then because this is a desk, this is an office, and then this side we've got a games room or a kids room. We've got the living room. In this little room I've added a coat hanger, which basically means you could put a laundry machine or something in there, and then we've got a bar in here for that kind of room. Dining table, obvious, then a fridge, so I use this as a kitchen and a bathroom, and then obviously a bed for all the different bedrooms. This one is big enough for a huge 8-sim house. There are 7 bedrooms, and obviously you have 2 parents then all the kids, so you could have I guess 8 sims. Also added like a hobbies room here, and I've also added a garage with, you know, a treadmill and whatever. So this one's quite hard to be fair, but if you break it down it's just like one room at a time. It's not too bad. I also deliberately did not add a pre-made household to that one because I feel like you guys would enjoy making a big family. In fact, I just want to say I've only added 4 pre-made households in this world, and normally I would do a lot more. The reason why is because I really wanted to make households where it's like one big family. For example, like you'd have the parents, the kids, but then you have the grandparents who live in a different house or whatever, but you can't really do that when you're doing it from the gallery. So I'm going to be populating this world with more households when I finalize a save file, but I've added a couple to get you started. Anyway, next on 23 Eucalyptus Lane. This one is very easy in contrast to the other one. So this one is a tiny little house. It's quite small. I tried to create the illusion that it's bigger with like these and things. I've partially done the outside. Obviously you'd want to add all of your own plants where I've put the dirt, and I've added a little bit of a garden but not a huge one, so you're gonna have to think about what you're putting in there. And then in terms of the inside, the reason why this one is very easy, I've given you guys a full blueprint of where to put everything. Obviously you'd want to remove all these objects because it's the ugly base game crap, but I essentially put them here so you know exactly where to put things. Obviously you do want move objects on. This is a standard, but yeah, every single room has been furnished basically so that you know where to put these. So this was a very fun one to make. Next up, we do this one. This one is also very easy. That's because it's quite small. It's not a starter home. It's just a small little home. The reason why I added a couple of smaller homes here is because I thought you might have like grandparents, for example, as well. You might want to, because it's like a family pack, you might want to have the grandparents live in their own separate house. This is why I've added quite a few smaller homes. So this one, I've given you a floor plan on the inside, but that's pretty much it. I still say it's very easy. Like it's pretty obvious what you can do. You can make it family home. We've got 3 bedrooms here, so it can be a small family home. It's already at 25k, so I don't think you'll be able to make it a starter home, but I have added those in the build, so that's there for you. Next at the bottom one, we may as well go into live mode because I do have a household here. Again, I didn't really want to add too many because I wanted to create like different kind of family dynamics where they're all like families living in different houses, but whatever. So this is a family, by the way. All my Sims, like, they're good looking, I feel. So anyway, I just want, like, I don't really want a world full of like average looking townies. This is my curated fantasy world and everyone's beautiful. So I've given them all family dynamics. All of the households that I create, by the way, for all of my worlds, like, a lot of effort goes into like all of their outfits. None of them are randomly generated. I put effort in their like relationship dynamics and things. As I said before, they've got no skills, they've got no job. I want you to go into each family and play through them. I just think it's more fun that way. This is the main house. I wanted to go for like a red design with this one. This one's like big but small at the same time. So you've got a lot of room here. You can have a main living room. You can have a kitchen with a dining in one. You could have a like a kids room, like a play space or something. I don't know. You could have a downstairs office or something. And then upstairs, I've added enough room for 2 bathrooms actually. You could just have 1 bathroom and like a storage closet or something like that. And then 4 bedrooms. So I've definitely made sure there is enough for all of the Sims living here. We're moving into the upper right neighborhood and I want to go into the celebration center or recreation center, whatever it's called. I really enjoyed making this one and I tried to make it feel similar but quite different to the original one. The problem I find with the lot is that it's just way too big. I think Sims inherently are not good in big spaces, especially with a lot like this. And I've also made this like the main community hub. So in the original Sequioa world, for example, there was a library and I got rid of the library because I just feel like you could come to the celebration center and do the same thing. So it just like saves you another lot. Anyway, at the back, I've added a car park with fake cars and I've added some fake road signs and things just because it helps to like make the lot look bigger than it is. Like you're using up all of this extra space that you don't really need and making it feel like it's purposeful. So it's purely decorative only with all these debug cars and things, but I just feel like it helps. And then next to it, I made this, which you could turn into a basketball court. If you don't have the city living pack, you could remove all of this, what's it called, asphalt, and you can instead put like planters in there and turn it into a planter place. You can add like literally any activities anywhere that you want to. Like I will be honest, I made it for basketball, but you can even literally bring down the fences, remove the fences and turn it into a little space where you have food stalls. Like there's so much you can do depending on, you know, which packs you own. You can even remove this entire fence area altogether and you can add the skating rink in the middle of it if you wanted to. There's so many different options. And then I also added a park. Again, I added this horrible, ugly, huge jungle gym here just to make it very clear exactly what you're supposed to use this space for. But I guess you could like tuck it in the corner or something. And then depending on which packs you own, you'll obviously have more playground equipment. Not that there's any fucking playground equipment in this game. It's diabolical. But hopefully you'll have something or at least a mod. And then for the main outside, I've kept it similar to how it was before, but I've added a lot of brown space which you'd obviously fill with plants. So I've added a huge area actually around the park where you'd have bushes and things. Like I just wanted to make it really clear that you can have some nice plants. And I've also added a fountain here. Fountains are so underrated in this game, is in the like ones like this, the ones that look like pools. I think they're very underrated and you can actually put other fountains inside of them depending on, again, like which packs you own. You could do some cute little display with the fountain. I've then added this building here which acts as the cooking space, so I just felt like it would be good in the celebration center to add just like a little kitchen, because if you're using this venue for birthday party or a wedding or something, you'd want to have a cooking space. So I've added that there with enough room for seats in here as well. I've also added like a small outdoor area here which you could use for seating or something else. So looking actually at the main building itself, there's an entrance on both sides. We've got the main hallway here which has basically nothing in it. Then we've got 2 bathrooms here. On this side, I've added a small room. Again, I've used the objects to show you what I personally would put in here, and I would personally put bookshelves. You know, I put a lot of thought and effort into thinking, you know what, like with the windows, they can't be touching the wall because then that would clip through the bookshelf. Like I think all of these things through, so you could put a bookshelf there, and then obviously you'd have the computer desks. So that's like the library of the whole world. And then on this side, I've added 2 games tables to signify that you'd want this to do puzzles and games and whatever else. And then here I've added musical instruments. You can make it a musical room. And then we go upstairs and I've added basically a gym up here, as well as some more bathrooms and a shower room, because you do need one of those in a recreation center lot. I think it's a bit of a dumb lot. I really hate the growing together pack, especially for things like this lot. Like, what even is this lot? What does it do? I don't really understand it. It's just base game objects all compiled into one. But I guess it's like a huge community hub. So I hope you'll enjoy this one, although as you can see, it is a harder challenge. We will look at the next slot here. We're going to live mode because there's a household. So this one, firstly, okay, what I said about not wanting to add too many different households in the game because it's really hard to do it all. For this one, I actually made these. Oh my god, she looks a bit like Shanice, doesn't she? I actually made these two split up, and I was gonna have him move out and live into a different household, but then I thought it won't work if you're downloading it off the gallery. So that's why I was really apprehensive to just create all the households in one. This one is an apartment building. If you own for rent, you can turn all of these different ones into residential units. The different colored carpets indicate which apartment they are. For example, this red one is 2 stories, just to make it clear when you're building. And for this one, so I've basically completely done the exterior of the build. So this is the entire apartment here, and I've given them also a very small play park. So you might want to add, I don't know, barbecue, bench, a swing, whatever you want to add in there. This is on that weird lot, by the way, by the water park that nobody knows what to do with. So I thought an apartment would be good, because these lots as well, they could also be kind of like starter homes, like these smaller ones. It's got 2 main bedrooms, all of them, so you can easily turn them into starters. I have completed one for the household that's in there. If you just want to jump straight into the gameplay, it's entirely up to you. But you can see I added this red one. This one's quite big, so we got a main room. You could have a kitchen there, and then going upstairs, we've got a bedroom, a bedroom, a bedroom, a bedroom, and a bathroom. So it's really, really big. And then downstairs, we've got a little one, and then one above it, which has a similar layout to the one down there. Then we have the one I've created there, and of course another one here. This one has arguably 3 bedrooms, so there's a lot you could do with that one. If you obviously own for rent, it would be better. If you don't own for rent, another option is to literally keep these completely empty and just not have anything inside of them. It's up to you. Or you could use MC Command Center. Then we will go into 13 Akakia Avenue, however you say that. So this one, I actually wanted to make the home small, but as you can see, like, I've done the home, I've done all of the outside of the home for you, including all the plants, but I've also added an entire park right next to the home, which maybe is a little bit weird. I just didn't really want to use the whole lot and create a huge house, because I feel like maybe this is an unpopular opinion. I personally like smaller builds. They're a lot easier to build and live in. So I've added just like a small community park. I did add some planters outside, so the Sims living here can actually use it. I've also added the like little tree house that comes with this pack in the back garden, because I thought it suited it quite well. And then going on in the inside, this one is very easy. That's because I've done the whole outside. All you have to do is furnish it, and as you can see, I've given you a blueprint of where to put things. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a chair there. I'll remove that. So it's pretty obvious where things go. I've left a couple rooms open for you to do what you want, but obviously you would have like the sofa here and a TV in front of it here. Then around the back, you can have the kids' play stuff. Downstairs, you could have a downstairs bathroom here. Here you can have a laundry room or something else, a study. Going upstairs, we've got room for 3 bedrooms. So we've got the parents, a child or teen, and an infant. You can all have in one. And obviously we've got a bathroom here. So it's very open what you do with it. Next, we're going to Parkside Place. So this one is a starter home. And what I've actually done, because with growing together, you are going to be playing with big households, because you'll be playing with a family, because that's what the world is. I've actually given a little guide in the description. I said keep within a starter budget, but I've made it clear, like I've given you guys a guide of what the starter budget would be depending on how many Sims you have in the house. So up to 5 Sims, you're getting 28k as a starter budget. So again, this one's very easy. I've actually fully completed the outside, and I've decorated it with debug plants so it doesn't use up the budget. This one, I kind of wanted it to feel a little bit more like nice and bougie, but still be a starter home. Obviously it will be more than 20k, it has to be, but it will be a family home, so it's fine. So actually looking at this build, I added the colors here, by the way, just to make it easier, so like you know what you're doing. But obviously you can change the wallpaper. here. So downstairs, I've made it quite obvious. Again, I've given you a blueprint to make it very easy where you'd put things, so you know exactly where everything goes. So down here, we've got a master bedroom and we've got a kid's bedroom. If you're wondering what this little box is in here, I specifically made it because if you have get together, I think it's nice to use this get together closet. If you don't have get together, all you have to do is delete the wall and just add in a normal closet, or what you can do is put in a desk in there. So that's why I left it like that, the options open. And then I've also added a conservatory, which you would use as the main dining room of the house. And then going upstairs, we also have a main bathroom up here, along with another bedroom big enough for 2 Sims. Well, I mean, you could actually put another bed in here. So this is enough for 6 Sims, 2 parents and 4 kids. It's entirely up to you. And then there's a big space in the open hallway to put kids' play toys or a desk or something. So right now this is 18k, but remember, okay, I have added all this placeholder furniture, which you may want to change. As I said, you can go up to like 25k for a starter budget, so you've still got a lot of wiggle room. Also, a starter house doesn't have to be fully complete as you move in. Like, you would buy objects as you go along. That's kind of the point of the Sims 4, like you earn money so you can buy nicer things. Although I do just want to say there is a terrain paint glitch where terrain paint deletes itself. So if you download one of my builds and there's no terrain paint, I apologize. It's not my fault. It's just the way the Sims 4 is built. Anyway, let's go into this one. So I made a couple here and their daughter. But the cool thing about this lot is this one, if you own again for rent, make it a residential rental. If you don't, it's fine. I'll show you what to do. I've actually tried to make these lots, okay, look similar to these lots here. Obviously, there are limitations because you can't make it exactly the same, but I've tried to make it feel somewhat similar. You can obviously decorate it in stuff as you like on the outside if you wanted to, but I've done the basic shell of them and I've given them both their own separate back garden space. I've also made sure to convert them into rooms. So if you do own for rent, you can make the garden specifically a room so people won't walk in there. So for this one, obviously you'd go in through the upstairs, which maybe is a bit weird. So I've tried to kind of like add the main bedrooms upstairs. So we got room for like a bathroom here. Then we've actually got 3 rooms that you could use as bedrooms or 2 bedrooms and an office. And then downstairs, I've added enough room for a modest size kitchen, dining room, main hallway space here to maybe put crafting objects. And then we've got the outside. I've also added, okay, underneath both of these, I've added a small room to the side. The reason why, if you're wondering why I added these little rooms to the side, this pack does come with kids' bikes. So you can pop a bike in there and it's like a bike shed in your Sims house, which I thought was quite cool. And then the other house next to it on the left, as you can see, is pretty much exactly the same, but it's a very slightly different layout. So it's up to you what you do with these two. If you don't own for rent, what you can literally do is genuinely close this off and have it not functional and have no one live there. Or as I said, you can use MC Command Center. Or you could even have like, you can make grandparents and have the grandparents next door. It's up to you. We're going to the next lot, Anchor Point Library, which is no longer a library. In fact, as I said, you can literally use a community center as a library, so there's no point in actually having one. Instead, I've turned it into a park, and growing together, it does come with those water park objects. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? You know, like all this stuff here, like the whale, and you've got these little like sign things, like the rug things on the floor. So I've actually made this lot so you can build your own little water park in here, just a little one. And then on the other side, I've added a small area for a kids' play park. You certainly wouldn't be able to fit like a big, you know, that annoying jungle gym, but you can at least add a swing, and you can also maybe add just benches in there or something so you can have a picnic or whatever. And now I've added just like a little toilet. The reason why I use these instead of a normal toilet is because growing together does come with the baby changing table if you wanted to put that in there. So this is just little lots. As I said, what's the point in having a library when you've got the community center, which is like the hub for all of that? So I felt like a space just where you can have a water park somewhere else would have been cool. Let's go to Manzanita Terrace. So this one was a fun one to make. Again, I got inspired by like the houses here, or the buildings here, and I basically tried to replicate the style. This one I categorize as medium difficulty. There is quite a lot to it, so I'm going to show you. Look, I added these cute little lights up here. I thought that was really fun. So basically, if we ignore the red one for now, you can see downstairs, I've kind of made these two look a little bit like shops. So from the downstairs, downstairs, we've got these 2 buildings which are empty, so you do what you want. But going upstairs, okay, I've actually made some apartments, a couple of quite big apartments to be fair. Now, if you're a PC player, you can use Little Miss Sam's Live in Business mod in order to make it possible to have a live in business, and I believe it is compatible with full rent. So that's how you can make purpose out of the apartments, whilst at the same time you can also have actual venues downstairs. I've also made a red one here, and this one I've intentionally made completely empty because I thought you guys can do what you want. Like, you can try and replicate the style yourself, you can use the same windows, you can use the same doors or whatever, and just see if you can replicate it yourself, have a go at building it. I've also added like a cute little outside thing here. I deliberately didn't add stairs going into this because I thought it's kind of like a private space. Then you might want to add like seating looking out onto the sea or whatever you like. Now, if you really want to, as I said before, guys, if you want to have this as community lots only down here, but you don't want the houses, all you have to genuinely do is section it off like this so nobody can go in it, and it's just purely decorative. You can do the exact same with the downstairs. You can just corner off the inside so nobody can enter, and then you can have them as purely decorative. It's entirely up to you. This is your save file. Like, as I said, it's a collaborative thing. I've done like half the build, but you've got to complete it, so it's up to you in terms of what you do with it. This one, I guess, is quite difficult because there's a lot for you to do and it requires a lot of creativity, but depending on which packs you own, which kind of lot type you want to make it, I feel like there's a lot of flexibility. And as I said, you don't have to use the whole lot. You can literally just section off some of the lot and make it not functional, and that's fine if it's just decorative. Next, we will go into the top household. For this one, I have made a family of 5 Sims, although the child is missing. There we go, he's come back now. This is the full family. I've added one of every life stage so that there's like enough Sims in the world to interact with of different ages, because I feel like you need that in this world. This one is a very hard one because it's firstly very big, and secondly, I've added nothing to it really. I've given you the shell, and I've given you some very basic decoration and a guide on what to do. Even though it's quite big though, going on the inside, it's not too overwhelming because most of the rooms are actually quite small. This top one here, like the top story, I actually decided not really to make it functional because again, you don't need to use every single part of the space. You can add a room up here if you want to, but I just didn't really see the need to, so it's up to you. So down here, I feel like it's quite self-explanatory. You could obviously have like a main living room, you could have, I don't know, a study, you could have a dining room here. Back here, you'd want to have a kitchen. Here, you could have a pantry or something. Then on the other side, you can have a living room. You could have like a hobby space, a bathroom for down here. It's up to you what you do with it. And then going upstairs, we have enough room for a bathroom. Ideally, maybe make this one the main bathroom. And then there's enough room for 3 bedrooms here and enough room for 1 bedroom and an ensuite here. So I make enough for the household. You need 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just enough. So I feel like this one maybe looks quite difficult, but I think it would be quite easy. I've also added an outside area here where your Sims can enjoy. So I hope you'll like this one. Now, how to download this? As I said, I'm not uploading the main save file until we've renovated every single world because it's a lot easier that way. And I want to make sure it's compatible for anyone, no matter what combination of packs you own. So for now, if you want to build it up as you go along with me instead of waiting, because it will be a while, all you have to do is look at the lot name in the top left, the default lot name, and then you go onto the gallery, search by hashtag, search by the lot name as a hashtag, followed by Satch, all one word, and you can see it will come up with the lot itself, and it also comes up with the family that goes with it. One thing I will say is politely, if you plan on renovating these, please don't re-upload it with the same hashtag because it makes it harder for people to find the original. If that is the case, I'm sure if you search by most popular, it would come up with mine. I don't know. As I said before, with San Sequoia, I didn't really like the original world. I feel like it has a lot of missed potential. So that's why I've decided to not really have any community lots here other than the celebration center, which is the main hub of the entire world where all of your community needs are. And then you've got the little park just in case. But mostly I wanted to fill it with houses. As I said, normally in my save file, I do add a lot of households in there with a lot of different age groups, and definitely for the growing together world, you need a lot of ages, which I guess I've added with each of the households. But as I said before, for the main save file when it's released, I actually wanted to create full families where you have the grandparents who live in a different house and you have the parents who live in another house, blah, blah, blah. That's why it was really important for me to actually not put in too many households now, because if, for example, these Sims, Kaylee and Declan, and I make them split up and I make the man live in a different house to the lady and her child, it wouldn't translate if you're downloading from the gallery, which is why I'm holding off for now. Hopefully you'll understand. If you enjoyed this video, you might also want to check out the next one here, where you see progress of the other worlds that I've been doing in my save file. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.